loser on the floor.
Get down. Let me clear my throat. Yeah. Oh, that's better. That's better. Somebody pass around the offering. Since I'm always preaching on tracks, you feel me? I'm out to get paid for it. Sermon of the day. You right where you supposed to be, baby. Informant, that information forming. Important you get a portion of fortune pouring. Confession, fortunately, blessings on now they snoring. You mellow, so focused on scoring. Got you underperforming. I never expect something, never assume nothing. Judging me for my past, but that's why I'm triumphant. I don't demand, I know where I stand like engineer hands. Watch how my life pans. That game plan, show out like a drotter, pop out like a cutter. Telling the quick rock, skipping the course, squares like hopscotch. This gonna be my mood to my beat drop. Putting my boogie shoes in my diddy boots, ain't no stop. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Congratulations on the celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. No congratulations on no celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. Yeah. If having hope is dangerous, call me evil Knievel. You leading on the wrong side, living with pens and needles. So lethal, made Shane Black wanna write a sequel. Cause I snuggle my dream till it's seen as illegal. And I still probably will, cause I can never give up. I got my goals calling me, how could I never pick up? Either we make up or just break up. With the snake kids get the rake up. Yeah, selfish, I'ma cake up if I don't shake me to wake up. Let my depression catapult me to succession. Shine a light on my imperfections like a projection. Every struggle and lesson, your issues ain't your oppression. Never got a question, keep pushing me to progression like I'ma make the rest of my life live. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Congratulations on the celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. No congratulations on no celebration.
Hey everybody, happy Thursday. How are you? How are you? And how are you? I hope everyone is doing well. Welcome to Thursday night with who? Your girl, me, Lady Dawn B. And where are we? We are on the greatest network ever to grace these YouTube streets. Okay. Yes, so happy Thursday. We are making it through another week. One more down for the books, and we are now in the month of April. Can you believe it? It has gone by so fast, but it's been good and it's been great. So I hope you guys had a great day. I hope everybody had an amazing week. I hope all is well with you and everyone connected to you. And I hope everybody is ready to have some good old conversation on tonight. So, as always, welcome our people that are in the chat. I'm sure people will be coming in and coming on, and you know how we do on Thursdays. We have a chance to get settled, get home. I don't know about you, but my day seemed really long. It went quick, but it was long. I don't know. Maybe it was stuff that was going on within it. I'm not sure. But hey, we here, right? So, hey, Anae, our number one bravette, the greatest moderator to ever grace these YouTube streets and elsewhere. We love you, girl. You know how you do, the beautiful Anae. What would we do without you? I don't know, and I hope we never, ever find out. And I also see my dear brother, 204, hanging out in the comment section. Hopefully, he might decide to pop up and share with us on tonight. I don't know. We'll see. I guess, you know, if he has time, he'd come on and add some nuggets to this open conversation we're having on tonight. And my goodness, who else do we see? None other than the lady. You know her as Mama Rosa. She is Pastor Rosa, a.k.a. Mama Rosa, literally my mama. Okay, me and 204, I'm 404, as you heard me say before. Welcome, Mommy. Thank you for joining and being with us on tonight. And of course, per usual, we have the encounter and the experience, as I like to call him. And he is in the person of Pastor Chris, a.k.a. the Psalmist Voice, part of our men's lounge. What's good? He says, let's go. What's good, Pastor Chris? What's up, Donald? He is also a part of our men's lounge, and I am excited for them. And now that I think I've greeted everyone in the chat, let me take a moment and just to say hello and good evening to everyone who's up in those expensive silent seats, paid a little extra to have a little privacy and a little silence. We say good evening to you as well. As always, we invite you to come on down to the chat section, say hello, let us know you're there, just so we can greet you properly. I promise you, it's a safe space. Don't worry. Nobody's going to get you. We got security. It is all well. All right. All right. Oh, and here we go. Hey, Vaughn Eric, where's your faith? Another good brother who dropped some good nuggets. Welcome on tonight. Thank you for joining. And I want to make sure that we do the trio over here, how we do on the Bravo with Sheila Network. We're going to ask you to partner with us and help us grow this network, get this great information out into these streets. Okay, and how do we do that? By hitting that like button. We also hit that subscribe button and we share. Okay, we want to like it so that we can add to this network. We want to subscribe so that we don't miss any of the great content that this amazing network shares. And then we want to do what? Do what you said, share. We want to share it with somebody else because we don't want to keep this good conversation, this good information to ourselves. So if you do those three things, it would be great. Greatly appreciated. It helps our algorithm. It helps us to grow the network, get good information out there. Listen, on the Bravo with Sheila Network, we are doing amazing things, growing by leaps and bounds. People watch this network near and far, and it is just amazing to be a part of. We have Monday nights Beyond the Mic with my Harlem girls, sisters, my fellow comrades of HG Forever. They do their thing on Monday nights. We got Pastor Sheila. She's here. She's there. She's everywhere. First, before I even talk about her, we got to give her a salute of a bravo. She is the queen bee here on the Bravo with Sheila Network. And as I always say, I'm grateful. She so graciously yields me this captain's chair every Thursday to spend these 60 or 90 so minutes, however, depends on how it goes with you. And I'm glad that she does. So salute to you, Auntie Bravo, as I call her. We love her. And where would we be without her? Let's pray we never find out. So yes, like, subscribe, and share. And you can catch her again. She's putting amazing information. A variety of shows go on. And if you need a good word for the day, because we need some encouragement along the way. Sometimes we need a boost, a little shot of the word, something encouragement. You go right across the street to the Sheila Ingram Ministries channel. And I promise you, it is good over there. You get some good words, some good information from some good women. Don't miss it. I believe tomorrow is the Women of Grace, okay, with Pastor Sheila, Reverend Jenny, and Pastor Rose. These ladies are putting it down over there, okay? I promise. All right. So yeah, go across the street, check it out. Support everywhere that you can, and we appreciate you. So on tonight, considering it is officially spring, although it doesn't feel like it here in upstate New York because we had some snow today, along with a little bit of rain and whatnot's been going on. The weather, tell spring, fight back. Don't take it lying down, fight back. Get up, spring. We waiting for you. We got some colors going on. We want to feel the joy of summer coming. So on tonight, we wanted to open up by saying, welcome to spring. Okay, I'm sorry. Just give me 1 second. And I am just going to invite some people. All right. So, when spring starts, we usually start shifting and making changes and doing all of these things. We want to get rid of the heavy burden of winter. I know I do. And to pack up our coats and start pulling out our other clothes and, start changing our attitudes. It gets a little lighter, the weather gets a little warmer. And so we start doing what? We start cleaning, we start changing things, switching curtains, all of these things that we do in our home. We call it what? Spring cleaning, right? So on tonight, I wanted to talk about and share and have just an open conversation. And we're going to drop the link if anybody wants to come up and share and talk and get some good dialogue. Go and be a part of this conversation. We got space for a little, 1 or 2. Just come and be a part. But we wanted to talk about spring cleaning when it comes to our lives. And I wanted us to make sure that we had taken the time to check our baggage. Now, this came about really because I believe it was on the men's show, the men's lounge. We had a conversation. We're always talking about relationships and different points and aspects and how we can improve relationships one with the other so that we are in a better space to communicate with each other. And we start by improving the relationship with ourselves, right? Right. So one of the things that I mentioned on there was about us taking what we need. We've been in a lot of relationships. There's a lot of residue in a lot of places. And so we go into our next relationships, not just male, female, but it could be the next work relationship. It could be the next business, the next church relationship, whatever it is, the next friendship. And we tend to bring everything, the residue of our prior situations with us into the new. Well, we don't want to do that anymore. So it dawned on me that, how do we do that? We need to check our baggage. And one of the comments that I made was, you need to make sure that you're only bringing from your past what you need to move forward. You're in a new season. Spring is a new season. Winter is over with, and we are in spring. So it's like, why are we bringing old stuff with us into a new space? Well, fine, when you do that, we cause ourselves to start off in a deficit to begin with. So want to talk about what it takes to do some spring cleaning, for us to check our baggage and really see what it is that we need to bring with us. So I hope y'all will engage on tonight, jump in the conversation, share your comments. And I've asked my brother if he would pop up. I asked my girl, Anitra, she's probably going to be on in a little bit. But I didn't want it to be just one-sided. It's a part of the Redeeming Me series that I do. And this series is about really reconnecting with yourself, getting back to the core of who you are, and getting back to the purpose of your own life. It's a personal journey. Usually when we have these conversations, a lot of people don't really want to talk about it, don't want to necessarily tune in or tap in, or they continue to watch from the silent space, which is fine. It's okay, because you have to be ready. You have to be at a season of your life where you are really ready to talk about you, to deal with you, to acknowledge your good as well as your unfavorable, and be ready to grow and glean from your life experiences. So I'm going to pull my brother up to the stage on today. Welcome to 204. How are you, big bro? What's going on? I see you. I see you.
All is well. All is well for I can't complain. I can't complain. If I did, I'd have to still leave it to Jesus. I don't have time to worry about it. I'm good. How about you? How about you?
I'm good. I'm great. Thank you, sir. I am great. I appreciate you popping on. And if need be, when you get to a stationary place, you could, we want you to be safe out there. But I'm glad that you're here with us tonight. All right. So, I just said, he's driving. We want him to be safe. Hey, welcome, Landon Price. How are you? Thank you so much for joining us on tonight. Like, subscribe, and share. We've got some good things going on here. So again, tonight we're talking about checking your baggage. Now, I want to ask you guys a question. We're gonna be a little interactive today, if that's all right. That's all right. Put a 1 in the chat if you ever feel weighted down. If you ever feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, feel weighted down, put a 1 in the chat for me. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. Welcome, Lady Navoa. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. It's good to see you. All right. Well, a few of us, somebody does know what we mean about feeling weighted down. Good. Not the only one. I'm not by myself. I found that when we feel weighted down, again, and I'm pretty sure we can all relate to this, is usually because we have taken on a whole lot more than we have been built to take. I realize, and I've come to the possibility of that's not necessarily ours to own. So other people are walking around a lot more free, and we tend to be more weighted down. Some of us were just built that way. We have big hearts, and so you want to make sure everybody's good. You loving and you're caring, and that's wonderful. But part of preserving ourselves is being realistic about our capacity and what we're meant to handle. We can't solve everybody's problems. And how do we know this? Because half of the time we can't even solve our own problems, right? We all need some help somewhere along the line. We all do. But we often, again, are taking on things that don't belong to us. They belong to other people. And we have to learn how to give people back their own baggage, because otherwise we end up carrying it and it weighs us down. And I want to say, it affects your journey. It affects how you get to your journey, and it affects what you take on your journey. Everybody ever been there? You get to a place, you're trying to get to a place of peace, but you are carrying everybody else's stuff. And sometimes you don't even think that it's everybody else's stuff, or you think it's your responsibility to carry everybody else's things on your shoulders. And you feel the guilt of not wanting to carry anybody else's stuff. Do you ever feel like that sometimes? You say yes, but inside you really feel no. Okay, I'm gonna unmute my brother so he can share. Come on to share, Donald. Do you ever been in it? Because you know what? It's good that we have men and women, because men bear things differently than women, and I'm gonna get into that in a second. So share, Donald. Do you ever feel like that? Have you ever felt that way?
Yes is the answer to the question, and interestingly enough, that's been what I've been adjusting very recently, especially when you made the point about taking on other people's problems, trying to help others while you're in need yourself. I've had to remind myself, not just today, but several times, that two sick people cannot get well if they both stay sick. And my point in saying that is to say, if I don't remedy my situation, if I don't recover from my situations of transition, how on earth am I going to be in any condition to help somebody else? And if you notice, at any time that you may have, or any of us have ever helped someone else and they got better, they don't come back to help us or replenish us. There are people that don't replenish what they draw from. They don't refill the person, who unfortunately, they don't replenish the person that they've drawn from. Right. And then that person feels those emotions that you just described, my sister. Because yes, again, I've been that person that has felt like I had to take on or be accountable for other people, and I don't think that that's a bad thing. But you got to know when there's a limit to helping someone. I always say, say enough to be said, and then that's it. Don't, and then right. That's it. That's my ad.
No, that's a good share, and that's a great point about replenishing, because and tonight we're taking it in a little bit of a different angle. I know usually we're hot and on fire and all that good stuff, but we got to dig deep sometimes. Sometimes we have to pause. And again, it's springtime, it's the change of the seasons, and there's some changes in our lives that we have to make as well. And we are carrying a lot of baggage with us that doesn't even belong to us. So tonight we want to help each other kind of chip off some of the weight. So I see that my sister, my friend, Lady Anitra Carter is in the house. I'm going to bring her up to the stage. I want to welcome you. Hi, beautiful.
Hi, good evening. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's good to see you, my Ken.
Good to see you, my Ken. Yes.
I invite her. I'm so glad that you are here. Thank you for joining us on tonight. Y'all say hi to Lady Anitra. She is usually in the comment section cheering us on and engaging in the conversation. And I asked her on tonight if she would come and join in on the conversation, invited her to join, because she made a great point during the men's lounge also that I want to tap into and help, because I believe it will also help in the conversation of us checking our baggage, taking what is ours. She made a great point about turning in the right assignment, being in the right place, in the right space. And that just opened up a whole nother dialogue in my mind. But it's so applicable in so many other places, because when you are carrying somebody else's weight, it throws you off your assignment. It can jade your vision and your perspective and make you think that you should be doing one thing when you're doing something else. So welcome tonight. We are talking about doing internal spring cleaning and checking our baggage. Yes, ma'am. We just have an open conversation, free flowing convo on tonight. Don't worry. We just want to share our feelings and our opinions. As we always say, we are not experts here. Okay. We are here sharing from our experience, from the well and wealth of our knowledge, and we are doing it so that we can be iron that sharpens iron. Someone else is feeling the same way that you're feeling and may not be willing to say it or speak up about it because they may not know that what you're feeling is very normal. So we just want to share to give people encouragement, and we want everyone to leave here better. So grab whatever gems and nuggets are left out there today, and whatever voice resonates with you today, stick with it. Okay. So I was asking the everyone earlier, has anyone ever gone through the experience of feeling weighted down? So I was telling them to put a 1 in the chat, right? See, okay, she laughing already. What'd you say? Since you've been there? Is it today?
Yeah, I have definitely been there. Man, I think that I'm in a place that I'm coming out of that in a different season in my life. Like there's different times that you feel weighted for different various reasons. I will say lately there's so much on your plate that you have to do. But and I don't know, I am divorced. I've been divorced 4 years.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
And I really thought I had let everything go, kind of got it all out. But me and my ex never really spoke. We never had a final conversation. And this is nothing but God. So my middle daughter is moving. So my ex-husband came to help her move. And we had a conversation on Sunday, Resurrection Sunday. He came over for dinner with the kids. And it was the first time that we had discussed our marriage since the divorce, the things that went on just between he and I. And when I tell you, it is such a freeing thing. I didn't realize how much I had to say and how much he had to say. It was so chaotic toward the end. You didn't know what was right, wrong, or left. Pointing fingers, blaming. And when the truth of the matter is, we both had baggage coming into that marriage, and then we together packed more baggage.
Right, created new baggage.
By the time and I mean, we were married 23 years, but by the time 23 years, just imagine how much baggage we had. Never unpacking it, never even really looking at it over in the corner, but not really doing anything about it, pushing it in the back of the closet and thinking that you're going to do better, you're going to get better without really unpacking it. And we got to unpack that actually all this week. We've had multiple conversations, and I can tell he's at a better place. I'm at a better place, and I just don't feel so burdened. It's like a weight that's been lifted on me. And you know, I'm a wife in waiting. So come on. I'm waiting. But I did not. One of the things I told God is I don't want to put on another man what something happened to me previously. I needed everything out of me before I can truly be in a relationship. And I didn't think that was something that I needed with my ex, but I needed that. I needed to say the things when I wasn't a good wife. I needed to admit and apologize for the things that I did not do, and the things I did that broke him as a man. When I say I'm free, I can honestly say I did some things that broke my ex-husband, and it's not to be like arrogant about it. Or like, no, God had to process.
You're being honest. Honest.
And I had to be honest and say, you know, because a lot of women won't say that. We want to blame, and ladies, don't get me wrong here. I just think it's time for us to also own up to the things that we did in the marriages, in relationships. We got to. It's not always them. You know, we are reactionary creatures, and that's not a good thing always either. Because if I'm going to do tit for tat for you, whatever you did, then I'm going to do it against you. And that's not what we're supposed to be doing. It's that we should be making it better. So for me, I chose to take the route that I'm gonna be honest about who Anitra is, so God can really deal with her and talk to her and say, okay, now this is the Anitra that I see. This is the fragrance of Christ in you that I want others to get the smell and the fragrance and the aroma of, and not all the other stuff. So I had to say, I did good things in my marriage, but I was not a good wife.
No, that's good. You sis, you done dropped some heavy stuff here today. You started that. This is what I'm talking about. Spring cleaning. And you made very good points, because a lot of times when we think about these things, and especially when it comes to relationships, we're always looking at what the other person did. And we carry that with us. We carry the residue of what they did to us, but not realizing that when we're not honest about what we contributed to the situation, that's baggage that we're carrying as well, because we don't think that we're wrong. So then we continue to operate in error, and you take that with you into the next relationship. And then you are acting out and you are responding to the current person like you picked up where you left off in the last relationship, but with a new person. And it's like, whoa, wait, dude don't deserve that, but we don't take that time. So you listen, you done said a whole mouthful. Okay. And that is so important. And it's really about us, just everyone checking themselves.
Yeah.
It takes two people. I've been married. I've been divorced. Oh, Jesus, I don't even know how long I've been divorced now. I've been divorced a really long time. Okay. I don't have 23 years worth of nothing. Except for life, and that's times 2.
Well, I mean, I've been divorced 4 years, but it was 23 years of marriage. And I mean,
I didn't. Okay, your 4 years of divorce is the total of the years I was married in both of them.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Listen, I'm keeping real. But
that's why I love her. You very real.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you what it is. Okay, I was married twice and I was divorced twice. I'm consistent. You know what I'm saying? I'm thorough from beginning to end. Listen, I'm gonna do it to the end. Okay, we'll see it through. Now, between the two marriages, thank you, 2 and 4. Thank you. Between the two marriages, it was probably like 4 years together. I think it was 2 in the first and 2 in the second. But I was in places that I should not have been. You know what I'm saying? So that was a part of me not taking the time to get rid of my own baggage, my stuff, the Dawn things. Now, I knew I shouldn't have married people that I married anyway, because we just wasn't meant. I knew that. I can admit that. Listen, I ain't got no problem with it. I'm telling you. Doesn't make them bad people. I'm talking about me. Talking about me. Should not have been there. Again, doesn't make them bad person. Just because you don't work doesn't mean that you're a bad person. I would never pick them apart, even what they did, or even what happened in the relationship, because at some point that's what you wanted.
Right.
At some point, this is what I wanted, and I wanted it enough to commit to it, and I was willing to be there and stay and deal. But carrying my baggage totally put me in a different bag, a different perspective. You know what I'm saying? It was like, okay. So when you talk about your baggage that you came into your marriage with, and his baggage that he came into the marriage with, and how when you came together, you still, you created baggage. It's like when you have laundry. And everybody starts putting their laundry in the corner, but you never do it. It just piles up, and nobody, it's there, but nobody wants to look at it, nobody wants to touch it. And those are the things that we have to stop doing. We have to stop just letting it pile up and look at it. We got to go over there and dig through it. Donald, you wanted to share?
Hold on, I'm almost home. My share in that is excellent share from both you ladies. I like the fact that what I'm hearing is, for the first time, but I mean that to be funny, not to offend. For the first time, my ears are hearing a lady taking accountability for what her portion is part, that was involved in your marriage. But how the two of you were able to, at one point, sit down, have a healthy conversation, which goes with what I said earlier. Two sick people cannot heal one another. One has to get healed in order for the other to. One has to get healed, and then be able to help the other recover too. So between the nice lady's share and what you shared, sister dear, 4-4, I like that. That's powerful. Everybody that just heard that should be able to build, grow, and develop from that. Healing is look, everybody heals differently, and healing is a challenge. But the point of the matter is that in order for you to move ahead, in order for you to move on, I'm home now. You have to be willing to change. You have to be willing to take out those items out of your baggage, and pretty much. I'm sorry for all that distraction. And pretty much have an empty case in order to fill it up with better things. Let me not fail to share or allow me to share that I too was in a previous marriage. There were some things that I could have done a lot better, but there were things that also could have been done a lot better on my ex-wife's part. So when we did not really sit down and come together to kind of remedy or fix those things, it led to what it led to. I don't want to put out business like that.
You don't go too deep.
No, I'm not going too deep. I'm not. For the curious minds, that's why I said I'm not going to go deep. And things having resulted in what they did, I too had to at some point learn to heal first before I would even engage in another relationship. It took me 5 years to kind of recover and heal, because I was not willing to honestly start anything new until I knew that all of my old things in my luggage was cleared out. Now, did I get everything out? No, but at some point when I recovered, I was able to. The load was lighter, and then my wife now, my current wife now, didn't have to deal with too much of my old baggage, but whatever. What do you call those little carry-ons? Is that what they call?
Yeah. A man purse?
No, not well. Let's call it that. I still had a. I know you are. I know you are. But yeah, what do we call it? A man purse or carry-on? What I'm saying is,
you had appropriate luggage.
What?
You had appropriate luggage.
Yes, exactly. So I had one of those, however you labeled it, smaller bags of things that my wife did not need, that my wife was able to be patient with and help me empty those bags. It's important. It is always important to find your healing first. If you can repair relationships that may never be the same, but at least you have a peace of mind, you have balance, then those things are great. And the biggest thing I also want to share is for all of us listening, but to the other two ladies that are hosting, doesn't it feel a lot better? Doesn't life feel much better? Don't you feel more relieved? You are never going to have to be accountable again. You're never going to have to wonder. You're never going to have to rethink. You're never going to have to say, oh, if only I had, or I wish I did. Don't you feel more free and liberated and empty?
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I want to pause for a second, and I want to also bring up, because we got some men from the men's lounge representing on tonight. Give Donald a chance to get himself settled and secured in. So like, subscribe, and share, everybody. We gonna bring to the stage who I labeled the experience and the encounter. You know him. He is one of the men's lounge squad, one of the team's lead moderators, and that is in the person of Pastor Chris, aka the Psalmist Voice. Welcome to the platform, sir. How are you?
What's good? I've been listening in. I was riding home. I said, I got to get in this convo because this is loaded. So I don't know if it's my turn to speak or not, but I just wanted to say hello. I definitely wanted to get on here, and I like the piece that Lady Carter just shared in regards to her experience. Now, I might throw everybody off of mine, so I hope you're ready. So here comes the experience and the encounter. So people look at you and they assume things, right? Well, personally, I've been through three marriages, right? Okay. Now, first one, I was too daggone young to get married in the first place, but she was older, and I had my nice little cushy job. I was good. I was feeling myself. So I said, yeah, I can pull this, all ego, no vision, no nothing. I wasn't even doing God back then. I was doing Chris. That didn't work. Three and a half years later, done. Okay, here you go. Where's the healing part? Well, I didn't have time for healing because I wanted to get right back on the saddle. I get married again. Got married to an older woman as well. Thought I was doing great. Didn't work. Why? Because I kept carrying my baggage from the last relationship. So I just brought my other baggage with me. The man purse, all of it. I had the whole collection, the 7-piece set. Brought it to that marriage. This current marriage that I was in. Mess, right? But a lot happened. So, of course, went through an accident. We had a premature baby, all this stuff, right? So, and I'm in the transition of coming back into where Chris was supposed to be in the first place 20 years. I was supposed to be in the past years ago, but I said, I don't want to do this because this is just too much. So I did the radio stuff and all that stuff. So that's what I was doing, slowly being pushed back into my call, but I was just seeing the radio and the TV stuff. But it was a setup. So with that regard, yeah, accident happened. Yeah, you take care of your family. Things come to you. Yes, you make sure your family's taken care of first. All that was done. Great. Boom, bam, pow. Guess what? That divorce came so quick, it wasn't even funny. So I invested 6 years into that marriage. And again, I had more baggage. So I got 3 years of 2 collections of 7-piece sets of baggages. And of course, on top of that, going through that, I recently lost my son. And then I was trying to go into another relationship on top of that. So I'm saying all this to probably help somebody because a lot of us do this. We don't have that time to heal or process. Mm-hmm. A t-shirt, hat, MP3. Now, ladies, I can commend you for that. You guys can be on a shutdown for 4 years and y'all good. See, with me, I was like, look, man shouldn't be alone. I was using that scripture just to try to match the honeys, right? Look, I'm gonna keep it real. Since we talking real, we gonna keep it real.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah, a man shouldn't be alone. I can't be alone for more than 3 months. Wait. Time out, bro. First of all, you got 3 pieces of luggage that you still never dealt with. You got the recent loss of your son. You're trying to go into ministry. Then you try to have another relationship and try to have that be wife number 4. How is that going to work? When you jacked up from the floor up, it's not going to work. And see, the funny thing about it is the influence of people and churchdom. I'm going to say churchdom. I'm not going to say the church because I don't want to get no emails. I don't want to hear it. I say churchdom for a reason because it's categorized. We got folks that do church. We got folks that do churchdom. Okay? So I'm saying all this to say this. When you have an influence like that and they're pushing you to the narrative, well, you guys can't date for more than 6 months. You got to get married in 3 because it's a divine order. 3 is the Trinity, all this stuff. Wait, hold on. I'm messed up still, sir. I'm over here getting therapy. I'm trying to get my head together, and you trying to rush me back to the altar? I failed 3 times. 3. Okay? Now, how I was taught is a man's responsibility. If we get a divorce as a man, It's your fault that you got the divorce. Now, I had to fight through that, through counseling with Christian counselors, through pastors. I had to fight with that whole thing because the fact of the matter is a marriage is a union, right? So it's not tit for tat. It's not you're wrong, I'm wrong. It's not because I'm the man, I'm the head. Look, there's a lot of narratives and factors that come into play when it comes to divorce. Because a lot of us get married based off the emotion. A lot of us get married because, oh, you look good, she look good. Oh, we can speak and articulate together. Oh, when we go to a restaurant and all this stuff, oh, everybody's like, oh, look at them. Ooh. See, we get
in our choices.
Yeah, we get the wow factor involved. So we get caught up, right? So, but we're still dealing with stuff. And what I'm learning now in this season, having that time to just cut everything off. I say, you know what? You can call me what you want to call me. You can call me a player. You can call me a user, womanizer. I really don't care right now. I just lost my kid. I don't even have a heart right now. And that's all you worrying about?
Right.
Now, I'm saying all this because it's part of what you're saying. Baggage, right? So you're bringing baggage, another piece of baggage into a situation. So a good man or a good woman that has gone through so much trauma, why would they put that person that they're seeing in the present state under all that scrutiny? Because I wouldn't give it to nobody in the world. I wouldn't. So I had to learn what was wrong with Chris. Why am I always defecting? Why is all this stuff always happening? And I had to get out of, oh, it's your fault, my fault, his fault, this fault, crossway. Oh, look, it was my fault. Guess what? I dropped the ball. I'll take the L. I wasn't being man enough. I wasn't standing up for how I felt. I wasn't taking care of my responsibilities the way I was. See, you got to be truthful to yourself. And when you get to a narrative where you can talk to an ex or ex-husband and you can make closure without drama, ladies and gentlemen, that's healing right there. That is me.
That is
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk all the time, but I just wanted to throw this in here from a man's perspective because of the fact that it was just a true honor to hear Lady Carter just say what she said, because we don't hear it from that narrative. We don't hear a woman say, hey, look, it was my fault too. When it comes to litigation, when it comes to getting that money, that house, that car, oh, it was him. He was the one who did this. He was the one who did. Look, we know the story. I'm not going to even put no Kool-Aid in that. We already know how we can get. But what I'm saying is when you could be man enough and woman enough, and you could stand before a judge and you'd be like, you know what, judge, I messed up. You know what? I'm the one who messed this up. And then when the other party could say the same thing in a courtroom without Judge Judy Part 2 and Jerry Springer Part 5 and Ricky Lake for all you old heads, we ain't had to go through all that. But it's always us. And that's what angers me. We need to heal each other as men and women, as black men and women. I'm not making this a race thing, but look, we keep coming up on every television show there is. We are the experts at drama and entertainment. Why can't we get along? Why can't we come to amends? Why can't we throw all of the insecurities and put it on the table? Put all our baggage in the middle. Matter of fact. Anyway, let me shut up because this ain't my show. I'm going to be quiet. I'm done.
Well, thank you for sharing. And
always coming with fire. He was like that the last show. He coming with the fire for real.
Always. That's why I say he's the encounter and the experience. And he's left, but it's a lot of good points and a lot of good truth. A lot of times you can't stand before a judge and admit your error if you can't stand before yourself and admit your error. That's number one. So until you become truthful with yourself, you're not going to be truthful with anybody else. And that's another point of us checking our baggage. Check your bag. Stop worrying about what's in somebody else's bag like we often do. But it's time for us to do that spring cleaning of self and getting into our stuff. It takes two people to either build or to destroy. Period. No one person can do it by themselves. If you do, you're a tornado and you're amazing, but it takes two people. You know what I'm saying? Like it does. There's cause and effect. You know, there's right and there's wrong. You're either going to feed a relationship or you're going to starve a relationship. But it all starts with us and us stopping to think about what is going on with me. What do I need to take with me? Where am I trying to go? First of all, do I want to be successful in a relationship? You know, again, I chose from spaces that I should not have been. First of all, shouldn't even been in those spaces to begin with. So the people that I was engaged with, I should never have even. And I'm okay. Well, I'm just gonna say it. I should have never even had you in my list of options because I wasn't being true about who I was. And again, it's no offense and no shade to anyone else, but you know when someone is good for you or when they're not. Women, we tend to want to fix everybody, or we'll make the adjustment, or, oh, you know, he's not, or we feel like we can just love you the better, you know. And before I go on, like, subscribe, and share. And I want to say hey to Alicia Harris. Hey, sis, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for popping on. Landon Price, I want to put his comment back up. Donald, we was joking about the man purse. He said, type EDC, see what's in the man purse. I love the Bravo and Shield of Nation. I do. I love you, family. I'm saying, but welcome everybody. Like, subscribe, and share. You know, the thing about it is conversations like this on tonight, people are afraid to have, you know, because it forces you to look at yourself. And the truth is, everybody's not ready to do that work, you know, but those who are willing to do that work, you start to single yourself out, you know, and you start to shine. And this is not in comparison, but you kind of shine a little bit brighter than other people because you're doing your work. And then it attracts other people to be like, hey, you know, like, you know, you walking a little extra these days, you know, you glowing a little bit more, you know, you're in a better mood. Like, what are you doing? Like, what's going on? What's happening? You know, it draws attention and it's attractive, you know, because we're not weighed down, or you're not weighed down with all of those things that you brought with you, or all of those things that you experienced, and all of those things you account and you just never dealt with. You can't keep sticking stuff in your bag and blaming other people. I had to self-examine and say, why did I choose the people that I chose? What was wrong with me? What was going, you know, and the first time I said, okay, you know, alcohol is from the devil. Has to be, you know, because I was like, we was doing too much drinking and partying and having a good time. And I'm trying, and listen, I was whole saved. Okay. I was saved for real. Okay. I'm telling on myself because I'm being completely honest and transparent. Judge me if you want. There is therefore no condemnation to those who are in Christ Jesus. Okay. Now I say that to say, and while we're there, you know, the disclaimer, while the Bravo with Sheila Network is not a Christian channel, we are open to all and accepting of all. But whatever your moral compass is, we respect and we accept. However, I'm a God's girl, so you're going to get some Jesus every time you see me because that's my moral compass. So with that being said, yep, I was whole and saved. I was in ministry, and I was in a very tight backslidden state. I was. I didn't want nothing else to do with church. I didn't leave God, but I didn't want nothing else to do with church because I was like, God, I've done everything right. I did everything that asked. I've done all of this stuff. And you know what? Okay. So I decided I was going to be extra now, you know, and I was grown.
It's the
but
church
because
because we're church girls.
Right.
Church girls.
Right.
We're raised to be church girls, and church girls keep secrets, and church girls want to do other things that
girls are not allowed. Yeah, church girls, and that's baggage, and that's baggage.
Look at Pastor Chris like that. Look,
because that's baggage. Because there's a church girl, you're not allowed to feel. You're not allowed to have desires. You're not allowed to have a good time. Doesn't mean that you. And when I say that,
they say don't fornicate. And you go, what does that mean? But I want you to be married. And then they tell you sex is bad. And when you get into a relationship and you find out that it's good, then you think the whole church done lied to you. Or you get in a relationship and you get married and you can't have sex because you've been told your whole life that it's dirty and it's wrong. So,
right. And you don't know baggage. Check your baggage. Check your baggage. Check what you are carrying with you that you do not need in your next season. This is the time where we really have to clean it up. And again, the word, we believe in the word. All of us on here are in ministry. And again, that's our moral compass. So whatever your moral compass is, get to the root of it and let that be what you use as your canon and your measure. But for us, it's no, we have to be taught how to be healthy in relationships. We have to be taught how to healthily satisfy. It's funny, me and my mom were kind of having that conversation the other day, and it's a part of the baggage that comes, and we tend to keep passing it down. We teach our young girls to abstain from sex, but we teach our young men to pursue women.
Oh, that's why you're my.
I'm a single mom of a 22-year-old son. So I teach him, and he was raised primarily by women. I've taught him how to respect a woman. I tell him, I am not your mother and father. Please don't say Happy Mother's Day to me on Father's Day. This is a part of baggage, believe it or not, because these are things that we pass down. And these are things that we teach. And I teach my son, boy, you better respect whoever you would. That's somebody's daughter. You better respect her as if it was your mama, your grandmother, your cousin, whomever your aunt. You better respect from the beginning. Do not take advantage and abuse someone else's child. If that's not your wife, when you get your wife, do you want her wasted? Do you want her to come to you wasted? Then, you know what I'm saying? It's what we have to teach our kids, because otherwise kids are carrying around baggage that doesn't belong to them. Things, oh, hold on, what's happening? Hey there, Bishop Michael Claiborne, Chief Commanders in the house. Thank you for popping over. It's good to have you. I want y'all to know he will be on with us next week. Okay, so y'all stay tuned. I'm gonna get to that at the end, I promise you. But welcome, Bishop. But there has to be balance in what we're teaching, because some of us, we're sitting here now trying to unpack our bags, and we grown adults with kids because of stuff that we were taught when we were kids. And we got to clean it up somewhere. But we have to stop being afraid to go through our luggage. I see you, Pastor Chris. I got you. I had to sit down and really think about. Now, my mom has been like, she's like baby Jesus said, you know, she's the female version of Jesus. Okay, all our lives, I promise you, right down to 2 or 4. She always carried the Bible. I promise you, it's like, I think one of my first memories of my mom was, I think she may have been 35 or something like that. She carried the Bible. I had never seen her without it ever since then. My father, on the other hand, he was not saved at all. Believed in God, but he was not saved. So we grew up in a house where you saw 2 different sides of life, but both prospering. Now, my father was an amazing provider. Our father took care of, he did all the man things. So it becomes confusing. But as an adult now, I had to take the time to go through my bag, because I was wondering, like, well, what's right, what's wrong, what's healthy, what's not? Am I supposed to stick around when things are not right? Or am I supposed to leave because I don't like what's going on here and not fix it? And I think for us, I'm going to speak for myself. My brother is here, but I'm going to speak for myself and then let Pastor Chris go. I felt that growing up, I did not, my trigger was, you know, I'm a runner, I'm a track star, you know, when it gets to, you know what I'm saying? When it gets to that point, right, where I don't want to be like the first thing that goes wrong, I'm out. I can't. We arguing, there's no recovery from an argument. The recovery from the argument is I'm done. You know, that's, thank you for coming. Your party gift is at the door. That's it. You know, because I wasn't really taught how to work through something, how to navigate through, how to save, you know, the good and see if that's enough to move forward. It was just like, you done, you know, we finished. Okay. You know, so, and that was a part of my baggage. So I was, and Prophet Claiborne says, yes, please check your baggage. He said, nobody wants to unpack heavy bags. Nope. Nobody. Listen, when I go on a trip, I try to pack light. Okay. If I can get in my pocket, in my toothbrush in the other pocket, I will, you know, but it's the things that we've learned along the way. You know, as adults, we have to start to unpack those things. I didn't want to look back to my childhood and really think about the root of why. And they were both doing the best that they knew to do. But the root of why is it hard for me to stay in one place and not run from the problem? Like, why is the solution to leave or to exit? What is my flight kick? You know, and my brother, and we have another brother and a sister, they may feel the same or they may have different experiences. You know, we're all in the same situation, but we've all somewhat reacted differently. But I had to check my own baggage and come to terms with myself and then figure out for me, what out of that did I need to take so that I can go on to my next instead of carrying this big old heavy bag. So come on, Chris, share what it is you wanted to say, and then we're gonna go around. I hope y'all are enjoying this conversation. Like, subscribe, and share. Come on, sir.
I'm gonna get in trouble with this, but I stay in trouble. What else is new?
Easy.
Just be. I think this is the problem when it comes to the word of that soul. You're gonna go to hell. The word sex. Yeah, I said it. Oh, you're a pastor. You're not supposed to listen. This is the problem. When we're teaching so much about hellfire and brimstone, and we're not talking about something that has been born in all of us, am I saying go ham and cheese on everybody you see? That's not what I'm saying. But when you are dating and when you're talking to someone, we have to have the conversation. I'm sorry.
True.
Oh, Pastor, you said that? Yeah, I said it. Why? This is why most marriages in churchdom fail, because we don't talk about the issue that we're both dealing with. It's not just a man problem. Women have it too. You guys are a little bit more disciplined than we are. I'm just going to say it. Y'all a little more disciplined. You go, look, some of y'all went to the Mount of Olives. Some of y'all went to the Great Wall of China. Y'all went to Everest. Y'all received 3-star monk statuses. Look, I'm sorry. I can't. Look, I'm going to be honest. I can't do that. I'm just going to be honest. But see, we need to have the conversation, because if I'm going to marry you and you're going to be my next, we have conversations about ministry 90% of the time, but we're not talking about stimulating our emotional and physical needs. By the time you get to the altar, yeah, you in love with the man in the ministry, but as soon as you say I do, and when it's time to consummate, you ready to run. Why? Yeah. Because you're in shock, because you didn't have the conversation. You didn't unpack the baggages that you might have, man or woman. Being men and women, we could be mature about this, ladies and gentlemen. It's not about how the young people say, oh, we meet up and we gonna smash. That's not what I'm talking about here. We can have the conversation. We can understand, okay, this is what you like. Okay, check. I'm not saying let's try it out now. That's not what I'm saying. We need to have the conversation and feel comfortable. And I think that's the problem. We don't feel comfortable talking about that, especially in our world, because we feel, oh, we're going to go to hell. Oh, the bishop's going to sit me down. Oh, this and oh, that. Now, I'm not saying go through the church, ladies or gentlemen. I'm not saying everyone you see lay the smack down. That's not what I'm saying. You need to be a mature man and a mature woman to have the conversation and still respect the other party. Now, I'm not going to say what I really want to say, because this is a family show. I'm not going to say it. And I'll get in trouble with every other pastor for saying this. But like I said, I don't care, but I'm not on my network. So I'm not going to say it. But what I'm going to say is, let's have the conversation, period. We got to have it. Because if it doesn't if that bag is not unpacked, I don't care how fine she is, gentlemen. I don't care how well she articulates, how good she looks with or without makeup, weave, no weave, whatever it is, what red bottom or no bottoms, high bottoms, whatever it is you into. None of that's going to make a hill of bean difference if you don't have the conversation, because that's what holds you. You can't consummate each other. There's not glue there. Yeah, you can have God. Yeah, God will do it. He's a wonder. Get it. Got that part. I know he is. But if we can't talk as human beings, as Christopher and as, for example, Dawn or Donald or whatever, we have to talk without the title, without all what we do. We got to talk to each other. I'm saying the same thing, but there's a point here. We don't have the conversation, so that's why we fail. I don't care how well you are, how educated you are. As men and women of God, in this scenario, we are about to supersede divorce rates in America as a church. Why? Because we don't have the conversation. I'm done.
I don't want to. We do. We need to have those conversations, and no, it's true. We do. But next month we're gonna have a whole show on. One of the topics is gonna be on sex versus intimacy. So I want you to make sure you bring all of that in, because we need to have those conversations. Now, one of the ways, there's some comments I want to get to. I hope y'all are enjoying this conversation so far. Let's see. Again, Bishop Claiborne says you have to have the conversation. Absolutely right. You can't say it enough. You have to have the conversation. But in order to have the conversation, you have to be open. You have to be ready to be open, to be honest. This is for any bit, any conversation, any issue. You have to be willing to be open and honest about your stuff. A lot of times we want to come to the table to have the conversation, to tell the other person about their stuff. But if we each come to the table to talk about, if I come to talk about my stuff and put me on the table, then that makes it easier and open. We have to be willing to hear and to listen. But again, you have to know what's going on with you. So yes, we do have to have the conversation. Absolutely agree. Bishop Claiborne, he is a relationship coach, and this is why I'm excited for him to be on next week. You do not want to miss it, guys. He says, facts, divorce rates have gone up in the church. I'm sure they have, because again, as Pastor Chris said, and they're facts. No one's arguing with it. Nobody's debating it. It is what it is. But we can argue the semantics all day long, and we stay in this space because we don't come off with the solution. We don't walk away with a resolve. We just keep repeating the problem. So we can say, yes, we need to have the conversation, but how do we have a conversation? How do we do that? I just want to read a few more comments. Hey, Pache. Hi, Coach Pache. How are you? I hope you good. Mondays Beyond the Mic. Y'all better tune in 7 p.m. That's my HG family, my writing group. All right. And Pache also says vulnerable and transparent. And that's what we have to be. But everybody has to be willing to come to the table about them. When we come to the table about everybody else, it creates more stress, more strife, and no one is trying to hear that. I'm not coming to the table for you to sit down and tell me about me, because we feel justified. And like, well, I'm going to tell you because when you do this, I don't like that. And he's going to be like, well, listen, I ain't trying to be your daddy, but this, I feel when you do this. We can't have conversation like that. So number one, you have to agree on what kind of conversations is it that we're going to have. Is this the best time to have the conversation? And again, I got to be willing to dig in my bag so that I can understand why I feel this way. What's making me feel this way? Are you willing to do the necessary spring cleaning so that you can stop carrying this weighted stuff with you from one season of your life to the next season of your life? Pastor Chris said, take the mask off. Well, that's true. But guess what? First, we got to figure out how it got on to begin with.
Oh, my goodness.
What made us put that on?
Wow.
Come on, Anitra. And Donald, come behind her.
There is so much happening in this room. Oh my
it's different on this side, right? It's different on this side.
I'm like, normally by now I would be all up in the chat. But I'm gonna go back to something that Pastor Chris said.
Girl, you gotta keep your notepad and paper. You gotta keep
that he said that I think that I've realized, and I think that one of the things that we haven't thought about, and as a believer, like everybody else may not be a believer, you have your moral compass, but with mine, I go to the Word of God. So the Word of God, in the beginning when he created man and woman, he said it's not good for man to be alone. What he said was, what the word tells us, that he created a helpmeet for Adam. And he told them what to do. He gave them an assignment. Can anybody tell me where he said y'all had to be in love? Does anybody? Did anybody say, if you can show me where it said one of the qualifications of marriage is love? Now I know that God is love. I'm not disqualifying that, but I'm saying my argument here is, have we been looking at that wrong and why we marry, what we married for? Because now, Pastor Chris said it. He said we want to go on feelings, but God didn't create Eve for Adam for feelings. He created her to be a helpmeet, and then to have dominion, be fruitful and multiply. And he made sex good. Everything I created was good. So if what we're doing is we're going about this the wrong way, we have taken the culture and society, and he looked good, she looked good, I feel good for this moment. And now I married that. Now I want to clear something else. That was marriage too for me. I did the churchdom marriage. So I got pregnant at 17 and I got married for a year because I got pregnant and I had to get married. So I did that too. So my 23 marriage was the second one. And so I want to clear that up. I'm right with you, Don. I got me 2 under my belt.
That's why you my kid.
But that third one ain't gonna look like those other two, because
say what now?
Now,
come on, say it again for me now. What you said?
That third one gonna look like those other two.
Oh, the third one's gonna be a charm. Yes, Lord. Oh, yes, Lord.
I told God, okay, I need something different, and this is what the Lord told me when I said, I don't know if I want to be married again. You know, if you're gonna give me a marriage like this, and God said, I didn't give you that marriage. You didn't even ask me about it. Did you even consult me when you got married? And I did not.
Girl, you made me spit my
remember praying and saying, Lord, is this? I don't remember doing any of that. But I stuck in the marriage too because the church told me to.
Oh, see, I got
a little bit in ministry, and we had a family, and we had to, we had to do all of these things because this is what we're taught in the churchdom atmosphere. And I'm like you, I don't want to say the church. I'm not blaming the church. What I'm saying is incorrect doctrine, incorrect teaching, and we're not being honest with each other. Half of the marriages in the church, I'm just being real because I have a lot of friends and I know a lot of different stories, and I'm not putting nobody's story out there. Half of the marriages ain't even real. Y'all don't even sleep together at home. And I'm sorry, I'm like you, Pastor Chris. When I get married, I want the good, all of it, okay? I ain't trying not to be without. I don't want without. Now, I don't want the Holy Ghost to hold me in my marriage. I want my man to hold me. So we don't talk about those things.
Because the Holy Ghost got his own assignment.
The Holy
Spirit has his own assignment. He has his own assignment. And
my assignment is to help him, to meet him where he needs help at. And right there, you need a little help, bro. Oh, I forgot this is a family chat. Let me get on the other conversation.
It's okay. It's all right. The thing is this, but you know what? The thing is this. It kind of gets to also what you tapped into the last time about you said you didn't want to hand in the wrong assignment. And it goes back to also the purpose. What is the purpose? We end up with extra baggage because we are in spaces that we don't belong. Nope. That's how you end up carrying stuff that's not meant for you to carry, because you put yourself in a place where you did not belong. And then we guilt ourselves to stay there. And then we guilt ourselves or allow other people to guilt us into staying instead of getting it right. Me and my mother had a conversation once. Now she stayed with my father in spite of, she wasn't saved at the time. She got married at 18. She stayed for many years. Okay. I saw my mother married for 27 years. We saw our mom, married for 27 years, stayed through it all. I divorced. I said I wasn't doing that. I am so sorry, ma'am and sir. Okay. My mom and I had a conversation one day, and we were saying to each other, Okay. Yes, Bishop Claymore. We will see you next week. He says, great show. I'll see you next week. Yes, we will. Y'all tune in next week. He is the relationship coach. He's coming to talk about marriage. All of this. Okay, who knew this was going to be the precursor to next week's show? But we're here now. Thank you for tuning in. We were going, I was taking my mom somewhere, and we were talking about marriage, relationships, and all that. And we both said to each other, she said to me, you know what? She said, I couldn't do what you did. And I looked at her and I said, you know, I couldn't do what you did. And she left, she stayed, and I left. We were not built. I didn't have the capacity to stay that long. And I didn't have it. I can't do that, sir. I can't. At the minute when I felt like I was losing my soul, I had to go. My mom stayed and endured. But again, it creates these things, all create baggage, because I was in a space that I should not have been in, similar to what you were saying, Anitra. My story is semi-different. It's similar, but I put myself in the situations that I was in, even though God told me not to. So I chose disobedience. When I tell y'all I'm committed to stuff, I mean, I commit. So when I do something good, I'm doing it all the way good, bigging it up. And when I do something wrong, I'm going to do it all the way. I'm going to be the one that if you're going to hell, you know, the gasoline draws and all that, that's going to be me. Like, we're going to have a whole ticker tape parade. If no matter which way I'm going, I'm doing it big. You know what I'm saying? Just don't play with me. I like to celebrate. I'm just saying, because I commit to my commitment, you know. And when I finally got myself to the place of therapy and prayer, and again, I'm ministering during this time, I'm singing, I'm praying for people, I'm teaching, I'm preaching, I'm doing all of this, fine. But guess what? When I had enough, and I said, God, I ain't gonna do this no more. I'm tired. You know, I'm stick by myself. I don't be bothered. I said, nope, leave me alone. I'm just gonna be me and you, Lord. I'm gonna raise my son. I'm gonna, commit to ministry and all that. God said, no, you're not. I was like, oh, yes, I am. And then he said, his thing to me was, you are not going to allow what I put in you to go to waste because you decided to be somewhere else. So you're choosing your choice over my assigned purpose of your life? No, ma'am. And I was like, God, I'm not pouring my oil in another wasted space ever again. And he was like, no, you're not. But you didn't. What you poured out, guess what? You didn't lose. You poured out what you could afford to get rid of, because the core of who you are and the real oil, the alabaster box oil, is like that. I would not allow you to pour out to anyone other than your assignment. So what you think is a little bit that's left is what you really need to fulfill that assignment. So you're not going to do less or take out on the person that I purpose you to be with because of your bad choices over there. So I had to fix my baggage and get my head right and get me together and be like, okay, and start becoming who he called me to be. And when I was able to do that, then things started to fall in place in different areas, and it just made life all that better for me. But for me, God would not allow me to give what he purposed for something else wasted on an assignment because I felt like frolicking out in the desert. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, go ahead. Go ahead. When you're done, I'll be right here. He's like, go ahead. Let out all it because it got out of me what I didn't need. It got out of me to the point where there was nothing else left but my purpose desire. Pache said, pour out what you didn't need. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And for that, like Donald said earlier, it was so freeing for me. She said, that's good. Von Eric says, and Donald, I want you to jump in. Von Eric says, women was the helpmate, but female was one flesh with her husband mate. This is love in one soul. Christ pointed that out. Amen. Amen. And that's true. And Pastor Chris agrees with that. And, we do too. Again, this is talking from the perspective of our moral compass. However, we can't even get so churchy because there are people who don't have that moral compass, and there's still some basic elements, some practicums that we all need, whether you saved, unsaved, believe God, don't believe God, in relationships with each other. We have to have some balance and practicum. Come on, Donald, jump in. Brethren, are you frozen?
Yeah. First, I'm gonna say, wow, Shazam, good stuff.
I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me? Can't hear me? One second.
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay.
Can
So,
you
wow, Shazam, and good stuff. I hope we're all gleaning for ourselves that nugget, that jewel that pertains to whatever individual circumstance may find this dialogue healing and edify. Quite a lot to really cover and share. I mean,
Well,
I guess what
pick what stood out to you the most, or what
most that
did
stood
you?
out to me. So what stood out to me the most is whether we're talking the moral compass or the Christian compass. I think what it comes down to it is people need. Oh God, I'm sorry. I'm so full of words and I'm trying to just focus on.
You want a minute? You want me to come back to you?
Nah, I got it together. Let me just get it out there and say, all relationships obviously require building and development through communication, through sharing, through transparency, through being safe. I just would like to put out there this, to anybody that's right now listening and you're in a relationship, no matter what that relationship is, marriage, dating, however it's defined. Take from what you heard from this, what was covered, and understand the one thing that's very important is the communication. When you make a choice, when a man and a woman, when a woman or a man makes choices to who their mate is, what this person brings to their life, how this person makes them feel joyful, or how this person helps you to recover in your sad times. Relationships are built really. The strength of a relationship is really built on the communication, and what elements in that communication have values,
Mm-hmm.
and how those values work with your personality, your character, your expectations. It's very easy for us to be saying a lot of things that we said just now to a lot of the people that are listening, right? But I really want folks to pull out of this. What I want people to pull out of what's being covered is repair your relationship how you can. If you know that your relationship is suffering something, ladies, don't hold back. Gentlemen, don't hold back. Set up a time that works where where it's away from your house, away from your children if you have little ones, away from family, so that you can have an open dialogue conversation with your relationship. The problem I think sometimes happens is that when things happen spontaneously, people like to argue on the spot immediately on how they feel. They don't like to draw back for a minute and say, okay, I'm mad at Don because of what he did or didn't do, what he said or didn't say, what I expected and what he did not give. There's a area in my life that I can share as much as this. When my first marriage failed, it did not fail because I did not know what was. It didn't fail because I didn't know what was going on. It failed because I didn't fix some things in me that were set as expectations, and I didn't catch on as to what those expectations were until it was too far gone for me to even recover it. If I use sports as an analogy, once the ball fumbles in football, if you don't recover that ball, if the team
Right.
don't recover that ball real quick, it becomes chaos. Y'all seen the games, people jump,
Right.
it's how relationships can spin out of control. It's important that you make time to have open communication in a safe place, like everybody keeps saying in the chat, yes, a safe place don't necessarily mean at home. Safe place, I think, means to me at least, if I need to have a conversation with my wife, I take her where, and I can do this, maybe you can do it, maybe you can't. I take it to a restaurant and we have a conversation and we enjoy ourselves. I take her for walks or vice versa. I tell her, hey, I need to talk to you. She'll say to me, hey, I need to talk to you. We set up a way, we have a pattern now, and it took us time to develop this. So don't think that this is over. This comes from when you make that, when you trip up enough times and you realize that this is not good for your health and it's not good for the other person. You got to be accountable on your end on how you want to address this and fix it. Ladies, I would encourage you,
Right.
don't be so dogmatic. I understand y'all work on emotions. You didn't like the way I did something, so you're going to react right away. Men, don't be so full of pride that you can't listen, because what that woman is saying to you has more value than what your BFF could ever say. Another small share in my prior marriages, the best thing my ex-wife did was what she did, because now I gotta clean that up a little bit. But what
Careful,
I'm
sir.
saying is, when she made a choice, yeah, because I ain't trying to.
Right. It's not. We're
But
not.
when she made a choice, the choice was the choice she made was for her benefit. But out of it, I became even better than then I became better in meeting the expectations that any woman after her would appreciate. And that's why I put out there to all of us that relationships require conversation.
Right.
If you want to reduce the number of divorce rates, that's not just in the church, but it's just in culture, period. People got to get these kind of counseling moments or these kind of opportunities that this platform provides, and hearing other people's stories and being able to relate to what those stories, what's relatable to those stories, and what's the repair. Because in the end of the
Right.
day, what are we really trying to do here right now, right? We're trying to give people an answer to how to fix or resolve or improve or continue and in having healthy relationships, developing those relationships, and continuing. I've been married 22 years now to my current wife. Do you know what 22 years of putting up with me is like? You can ask
Yes,
her. She'll tell you.
I
Yeah,
do.
yeah. It's not. Yeah, well, you do too. That's true. Well, it's not.
It's different from the sister perspective. It's different though. It's
And
different.
listen, I love my wife to death because, and I mean that, because
We
not only
love her too.
my soulmate in the story that goes with how we met, but she's the woman I dreamed about when I basically decided that I would fix myself first before I try to go into any new relationship. I will find out where I went, where my shortfall was, how can I improve it, and before I even think, I wouldn't even date nobody. Let me be this real. I wasn't even dating nobody. As much opportunity though as I
So
did.
let me
I was,
ask you this then. So you're
yeah,
saying that you, even in the midst of, okay, so in between the break, between your divorce and the current, and you said you wasn't dating nobody, and you started working on you, but in the midst of that, in the midst of you working on you, you found, you met
yeah,
Sharon.
right.
Now,
You can say her name.
I did.
Oh, sorry.
I
Go
said,
ahead.
I know
Sorry.
myself. In the midst of working on you, in the midst of that, you found Sharon. You said you wasn't dating anybody. You was working on yourself, doing that. Okay. When you met her, if I'm hearing you right, you found that you had done enough work on one hand that you had something that you had done enough of your work that you had enough of a foundation that you could even start over with someone in some capacity. Number one. Number two, you also found that she was a woman to you who was worth you finishing your work, not rushing into the relationship necessarily, but taking your time to finish your work. And she complimented you by walking through that process with you, because a lot of women would walk away. You know, bro, you ain't got you together yet. Listen, all right, take your broken pieces and take your mama, get some glue, you know. So if I'm hearing you right, there's opportunity in the midst of checking your baggage and lightening that load, made room for you to have space to see and find what you really wanted and needed. Am I hearing you right?
Yes, you are. So if we take the theme baggage, spring cleaning, please visualize for a moment, if you would, with me. Your bag, you have a bag full of clothing. Some that fit once upon a time, some not, but now you have new clothing on top of the old clothing, right? Now the bag is full, but for some reason, you keep the old clothes in the same case as the new clothes. So in order for you to honestly fit more of new things, more new clothing, you got to get rid of the old clothing that's in there.
Right. You have to make room.
But of holding on to an outfit, a shirt, a dress, whatsoever it may be, because we believe we're going to fit back into it. But no, when it comes to relationships, if there are some relationships that you're just not going to fit back in, I think the nice lady, Miss Carter, shared that, that even though her and her ex-husband had that conversation and the healing came and there was newness and freedom and so forth,
right?
She had to realize that, okay, I took out all these old things, these old thoughts, these old feelings. I identified with this, that this just didn't fit me as a wife at the time. This didn't fit me, and this didn't fit him as a husband. So I needed to clear out all these old things, these old thoughts, these old emotions, in order to clear out and make room for what's new, because we don't know. Listen, to prepare for the next better thing, whether it's a relationship, a job, a career, business, you name it, you got to be willing to make transitions towards what you want, and you got to clear out that emotion. So yes, my sister, you got it. Yes, I had to clear out to me first in order to be fitted for the right wife. And when God showed me my wife in the way that He did, the day I met her, I really wish I could tell the story, but I don't want to hold up the time. The day I met her, it was clear to me that she fit me and I fit her. And we built and we built. Like I said, I carried that man bag or man purse or whatever my sister called it earlier. But it was a smaller piece of luggage than the
luggage that you were carrying, right? Which kind of which kind of gets back to what you were saying in the beginning about releasing so that it creates space. It's free.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Anitra, in that space to have that conversation. It was at a time when, in the heat of things, you could not have that conversation, and it may have taken this time, but it took however many years. And when you think about it,
No, I was just sharing that between those two timelines that you're covering, that was 5 years of self-repair. That was me
right, and that's what I'm saying.
Praying.
Anitra was sharing like the same thing. So there's a real process to this process.
Yeah.
And it's similar. It's a path that we all have to take if you want it, because I did the same thing in between my last marriage. What is this? It's 2024. I got divorced in like 2015, and that's been 6-7 years, where I did me. I knew how much work I needed to do on me, but it takes us to, again, check our own baggage. I wasn't looking at nobody else, because the common denominator in both marriages was me. So I had to stop and say, what am I doing? What am I attracting, or what am I allowing? But I really had to take that time to go through that, as Anitra said earlier, that pile of laundry that was thrown in the corner, like, oh, maybe I need to dig it out now, because now guess what? I have this laundry in the corner, but now it's time for me to move. Yeah. Now it's time for me to change seasons. Now it's time. I'm packing my apartment up, and it was fine when it was there because, I was here, but we no longer here, and now I got to go through that stuff and figure out what do I need when I'm going to my next, like Donald said, you might have been saving that for whatever, I got stuff in my closet that I'm like, oh yeah, it still got tags on it. Like, yep, I'm getting that. I sure am going to do it. Stuff, anyway, it has come with me through several apartments and it's gone in the closet in every single apartment.
Right.
Never on the body, but it's in the closet, but it's still with me.
Way. And people carry emotional luggage.
Right.
That's way.
And that's
you keep saying you're going to throw it out. You keep going to leave it there. You keep saying you're going to clean it up. Look, I wouldn't even wash it, to be honest with you. I would just. No,
you just throw it out. You just throw it out. Let it go. Why are you taking it with you?
Gone, the style is gone, and these suggestive ways we're saying things is us still saying you got to get rid of all that emotional attachment to the things that have already happened, that have already passed you by. You got to work on yourself, get the other person and what they didn't do. Start with you, and then when you can.
Right, because it's not even. We're not even, and this is the thing. I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you off, but this is the thing. We not even talk. This is the key in our language that I really want us to get tonight. It is not about other people.
Yeah.
It is about you checking your stuff. Because when you check, not asking nobody's opinion, do you think I need this? Maybe I should, okay, is this a good color on me or what? No, sis. No, bro. Never mind other people's opinions. This is about you checking you. You know what you need. You just have to believe in you enough to stick with it, because no one is going to agree. Everybody's not, you can't please everybody. So you have to learn how to please you. I want to read some comments. I'm sorry. I want to read some comments because it's good. And then I have a question, and then we're going to kind of lead towards wrapping it for the night, but we're going to be back again. So I hope y'all are enjoying this conversation so far. Please like, subscribe, and share. Again, we're talking about spring cleaning. Check your baggage as we are entering into a new season, and you cleaning your house, clean your heart, clean your mind, clean your spirit. Get rid of the things that you no longer need. Lighten your load. You owe it to yourself. So Anitra was saying earlier, communication is effective with comprehension. Great point. If you don't understand what's being communicated, it is not effective. Right. It's just words. I have a habit of saying, just like I did with my brother, okay, so what I'm hearing you say is, I learned that from a marriage retreat that I went to. Now, see, it's funny. I'm about to be funny. I was going to say the lesson stuck, although the marriage failed. Who does that? But I got the point. And because it was an exercise that we did at the marriage retreat. It was called what you heard what I said. Because with men and women, the way we communicate, and with people, the way we communicate, you could be like, okay, I said the sky is blue, and you will hear it say, oh, so you don't like white? I didn't say I don't like white. I just said the sky is blue.
Ooh,
so you saying I'm blind?
I wish there was.
It's like, that's not what I said. I said, so that was a good point. It's comprehension. Where are we listening from? Where are we hearing from? Anitra also said, come on, it's a process and intentional. Pastor Chris says the basics of having anything in relationship, period. You can't love if you can't find peace. Just being real. That's a good point, sir. You disturb my peace. Anything that affects my peace gotta go. So sorry. And amen. Yeah. Landon Price says, thanks for revealing boundaries. Worked on boundaries before. Contract got rewritten 3 times, but very successful. Yes, takes time. Yeah, you do. You have to, when you're with someone who you value and you value what you have, you will keep going to the drawing board, because it's not about how many times. It's about you working it until you get it right.
Yeah.
Because you want to get it right. Y'all getting some good comments in here tonight. You always do. Y'all always do on the Bravo Shield Network. Pastor Chris said, real talk AC. They were sharing some love with each other. Here we go. There is power in the man purse. He said he's done. Pastor Chris. Yes, there. Okay. Talk about it, sir. We gonna get the man purse, and we gonna let Donald kumbaya with his guitar.
You know I am, right?
I know. And Nietzsche says, I'm responsible for me and the choices / actions, and I had to identify all the mask I was wearing. That is so true. And part of the problem with the mask that we're wearing is that what did we pick them up for, number one, and number two, how much we allow them to become our norm.
What have I always said in conversations that are on these platforms? I've asked the same question, make the statement. Women, and now it applies to men too. What do you want?
That's a whole nother. We're not going there. We're not going there.
Because
before we get to the what do you want, it's not us asking each other what do you want. You ask you what do you want.
What I mean. But that's
right.
Exactly
what I mean. So
it's pointless to the
but
person.
After you figure out what first, before you figure out what you want, you got to check your baggage. You got
that's really my point. What I'm saying when I
say,
what
you, bro, we in the same. I got you.
No, like you don't go to a restaurant and say I want a Big Mac.
It's the Brathwaite gene talking. Pastor Chris said, I need to skip the man purse and go get my backpack. Okay, all right. Well, go ahead, beef it up. Kick it up to the next level, Pastor Chris, with your backpack. And Dietrich said, Pastor Chris, not even a fanny pack. He said, no, he's going all the way. If he's going to do it, he's going to do it big. The fanny pack, that's for the essentials that he don't want to keep, he want to give. Anitra said the analogy is at the airport. They make the announcement that you must check your own baggage. That's the truth. That's the truth. Von Eric is cracking up at us, and Donald says, keep it up. But again, these conversations are they're really good and necessary for us to have. And I love that we create this safe space that we can come and talk. It doesn't take a whole world. It just takes a few like-minded people to come together and be willing to talk it out, because oftentimes we feel that we are the only ones who are thinking this way. But when you find a community that is in sync with one another and actually, oh snap, other people really do want to get it together. Other people really do want to help themselves, and other people do want to be the best version of themselves so they can show up properly for someone else. I want to go back for a second because I don't think I got to read these comments before. But Bishop Claiborne was saying we cannot pick and choose. Why is my comment not showing? Okay. We cannot pick and choose which conversations to have. Am I frozen? Okay. I thought I was frozen. I might have been. Hold on. Where are we? Okay. There we go. So we do have to be willing to have all the conversations. He also said that the first thing we have to do is create a safe space, because no one wants to be vulnerable where they feel like they will be judged. And that's true. And that goes back to also what Donald was saying about creating that space. Wherever that place is, go away from home, you go for the walk, you go, get ice cream, you go get whatever it is, whatever happens, you just need to, sit in the backyard, go by the whatever, to take a drive. That's important. No doubt, sis, I got you, my kin. I want to share kind of lastly to start bringing it up to a close. The few things that we did share and we can walk away with about checking our baggage is that we carry weight of other people that does not belong to us, whether it is their opinion, their thought, or their contributions a lot of times to our lives, because we let their voices be louder to us than ours. That we have to get rid of, because as Donald said, oftentimes now you are taking on other people's baggage and then they go off and they're free and skipping through the tulips. And here you are dry and worn out, and they don't even come back to replenish you. We got to make sure that we are around people and connected to people who can replenish us. Secondly, when we do finally start to shed the weight of the extra baggage, it is very freeing. And that's what we all want. And you should not be made to feel guilty about wanting to be free. When you get free, stay free. When you clear your baggage out, do not look for other things to add into it. Do not look for other things. There's no spaces. There's nothing missing, nothing lacking. That's what we say in our prayer room. Nothing missing, nothing lacking. That free space will be occupied with the right thing. Don't be eager to put something in it because you're not used to feeling free. Learn what freedom feels like as you empty out your baggage. Another thing we talked about was being able to admit you're wrong. Lady Anitra brought that up as she expressed and shared the conversation she had with her ex-husband about admitting her errors or what she added within the marriage that caused it to get where it was, and apologize. Apologize sincerely. Don't just say you're sorry. A lot of times, and I tell my son this because he'll say he's sorry, and I tell everybody, I cannot stand the word I'm sorry. I really can't. For me personally, I don't, you know why? Because I feel like when you're really sorry, I'm being honest. Listen, y'all stuck with me, okay? That's what I'm being honest. If you nothing else, you're gonna get done truth and transparently. But I feel like this: when you're really sorry, you don't do it. You think about it before, because you're not sorry that you did it. You're sorry that you got caught. Because if you were really sorry, you would not have done it. So the consideration in that sense is not even about me. It's about you, about how your actions made me feel now are making you feel. Because you don't want to feel bad. So I'm sorry I made you feel like that, because I feel bad that you're feeling bad about what I did that made you feel bad. Don't be sorry. You did it. I'm not going to say sorry. If I did it, I did it. I'm like, I made the choice. We do make mistakes. If we're apologizing, to me, that's different, because you've made up, you took the time to really assess what took place. And I apologize because I did not mean for my actions to make you feel this way. That's about us. That's not just about you. That's about us. We already talked about the outside influences, that we have to make sure that we are not allowing the outside influences to weigh more on us or to add to our baggage and let them be louder than what we were really intended to carry. She says sympathy versus empathy. Exactly, ma'am. Donald said in the comments, communication heals in love, creates peace, and develops relationship. Absolutely. I agree. Now, last thing that I want us to share on tonight before we wrap it up. And again, I hope you guys are enjoying this conversation. Thank you so much. 2 of 4. Thank you so much, my kin, Lady Anitra, the Encounter, the Experience, Pastor Chris. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. Like I said, I wanted to have open conversation and dialogue this morning. You hear I'm ready for tomorrow. This evening. And I wanted us to just simply flow and have authentic conversation, because we grow from each other. Everything is not scripted. Most often when we come on here, we are having open dialogue. I may have a few conversation guiding questions so that we can make sure we are making points and giving people resolves to issues. But genuine conversation, it is what is going to appeal to people, when we are being real and authentic. So when we talk about baggage, one of the things that I realize is that, men and women, we carry differently. Women, we have a womb that we are meant to carry, and we bear things in our womb. We hold stuff in. Men have shoulders, and often the shoulders are broad. Most of the time when men are going to the gym, they trying to work on their upper body. You see them working because, right? Y'all doing, see, look at here. Look at here. You see what I'm saying? They trying to, trying to get them shoulders right, trying to get this square, trying to get that, I ain't mad at that though. I love me some good shoulders. It's all right. Y'all keep work it out. But that's where men bear their weight. Men bear weight on your shoulders. You feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. And oftentimes, again, whether it is the weight that's on your shoulders or the weight that we carry in our womb, there's a time when it gets to be too much. So I want us to share from the male and female perspective, what can we do as men and women, again, because we do bear our weight differently. We're internal. Again, women have a womb, so we hold stuff in. Men are external. Y'all bear your weight on your shoulders, which is on the outside. How can we help one another to, number one, not have that weight on your shoulder or build up so much weight on your shoulders? And as a man, what nuggets can you give? I don't want to say advice to other men that will help them to handle the weight that causes them to feel overwhelmed. Does that make sense? All right. So I want to give everybody the chance to go around. Well, I'm gonna start with Donald and Pastor Chris, and then Anitra. Our question is the same way. You know, what can we do to help not carry so much weight in our womb? And what nuggets can we give to women to help them to release some of that weight that we end up having in our womb, since we're internal and men are external? So come on, Donald. Everybody take like maybe 2 minutes to share.
So,
Go ahead, Donald.
in a nutshell, to answer that question is know your strength level. There's some things that if you just know you just cannot handle, you emotionally or since we're speaking that way, drop it, let it go. Anytime I'm working out, I don't try to do 300-pound deadlifts. I'm not designed that way. I learned to stick with what my goal is and only put on what I can carry. And I'm just going to throw this Bible scripture out there, at least a quote. The Bible says that God never gives us more than we can bear. So anything on top of that is what you put on yourself. So start to examine what you're putting on yourself and remove that extra. It's not meant for you to carry. It's not meant for you to handle. Maybe at one point you might develop, God will develop you, or you will be developed to handle that. But no, you can only carry but so much weight. That's my share.
That was good. Thank you, 204. So what I hear you saying basically, and again, I'm recapping because sometimes women, we hear differently, is know your capacity, number one. And number two, like you said, you know, we often say God don't give you no more than you can bear. Be mindful of what you add on to what God has already given you. That's extra weight. That's not what he gave you. That's what you brought. So if I hear you correctly. All right, that was good. Thank you, Donald. Come on, Anitra. Come on and share from the ladies' perspective about our womb.
Just the one thing about it, like you said, we are internal, and we will internalize until we implode to explode. And I know that many women understand that. But because we are such nurturers, when we have that womb inside of us, and we also have to learn when to release or when to give birth. And we need to know where we're at and who can go with us. We have to first be accountable to ourselves. But when you're in a person that internalizes, you have to have somebody that you can be real about the things that you want to say about motherhood, about sisterhood, about being a daughter, a wife, a place where I can go to Dawn and tell her, my kids are driving me crazy, and not feel guilty and ashamed, but to be able to say the things that you want to say out loud, but to the right person. And I'll be honest with me, sometimes I say it to myself. I will have a conversation with myself, because when you hear it, it can bring freedom to yourself as well. Sometimes I just have to say, Anitra, I don't like this in me right now. I don't like it. And I need something different. And let the tears fall. Let the mask crash. It got to crash, fall off your face. And then be okay with you. Be okay with you. I have learned to be okay. I am not perfect. I am not perfect at all. I used to think I was. I am not perfect. But when you understand that you're a work in progress and this is a life journey, it is okay. It is okay where you are, especially when you're making steps. It is okay. And it's okay to not be okay. It is okay. Find you a sister to say, I ain't okay. My friends will call me sometimes. I've had a sister that came and got into bed with me because she's like, I said, I'm not okay. I ain't going to church. I don't care what you say. I ain't doing it. But I had somebody to come and say, well, I'm going to sit here with you. I'm going to bring you some Doritos. Yeah, that's my little snack food. And a soda. And not judge me because I want to lose weight and can't get in the clothes that Donald said in the closet. I can't wear them. I don't care. But it's okay to be okay.
Let them hang. Just let them hang.
Just let them look at them, pass by them. Oh, that used to look good on me back in the day. But it's okay to not be okay. And I will say what Pastor Chris said. In our culture, we're taught to be so strong and independent. We can't. We're taught to carry what men are to carry. We can't do it, and I don't want to do it. So be okay with not being okay. That's my advice. Be okay with not being okay. Just don't stay there.
Right. No, that's good, sis. Listen, I'm with you. I don't want to carry what the men folk get somebody else to do it. A sister tired. My shoulder broke, it fell off, had to pick it up and
take the trash.
tape it back on. That ain't sexy. That's not cute. Not at all. But no, that was good. That was good. I love what you said about we implode to explode, and we have to, as women, we have to know when to push. You got to know when you are, it kind of companies, it builds off of what Donald was saying about knowing your capacity. We as women have to know ours too. We have to know our capacity and we have to know our place. You have to know when too much is too much. And yeah, it's okay to not be okay. Some of us have been too strong for too long. I don't sometimes I get to the point where I've been in I say I'm okay, and sorry, y'all. We having a little bit of the rainy bad weather up in these mountains here. But that was good, sis. That was good. We have to know when to say I'm not okay and find a safe place to say it. And when someone says to you, when your strong friend says to you, I'm not okay, please don't take it lightly. Because you don't know what it takes for us to get to the point to be able to admit I'm not okay. So if I'm saying it, I mean it. If I tell you I need to go to the doctor, that means I gotta go. So, we have to be there and be understanding. Come on, Pastor Chris. Bring us home, sir. Bring us home.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay. First and foremost, coming from a man's perspective, we must know how to CrossFit. What is CrossFit, Pastor Chris? What does that mean? Well, CrossFit is a different dimensions of different exercises, different skill sets, all that stuff to keep your body right. Right? I'm gonna use some male analogy here. So if we learn how it is to bear like our women, if we understand how they internalize, if we understand how they think, if we understand how they implode from the inside out, like our woman of God said, right? First of all, and this is a unisex exercise here. CrossFit is not just for the men, it's for the women also. I understand that society has failed. I understand that some, not all men, have taken their positions. We're getting it now. It's a little too late, but we can still get it. Just saying. I'm not going to say we're too far, but we got it. So anyway, what I'm saying is I understand the mindset. We have to fight against something that was created. So what are you talking about? See, I'm talking practical here, and then we'll get spiritual. What we have to understand is that we have to be the antidote for the problem we caused. Uh-oh. So what I mean is, men, we have to identify the virus that we spread. Even in our culture, we have to step up. And if you don't know, it's okay. Ask somebody. See, that pride thing is what kills it. We have so much pride that we kill the antidote in a lot of the next generation of men that are coming because we too prideful to be exposed. Well, I got news for you. Me being exposed has healed me tremendously. Being able to speak how I feel, whether I was the good guy, bad guy, in between guy, gray guy, whatever it was, I'm able to express that. Why? Because someone or some man is in that one of those elements that I'm being transparent in. We said that in the chat. Transparency is key. So as men, it's okay to be strong. It's okay to be macho. It's okay to do the chest bumps and how we do what we do. But at the end of the day, how can we carry a burden if we don't understand the burden, right? Yeah, we can recreate, construct, do all these things, do, all this stuff. We're great at that. But we have to also understand, and I can say this and I'm going to close. The one thing that caught my sensitivity was when I had my daughter, because I had boys. So I didn't know what it's like to step into another role. I got to wear wigs and have tea time and get my nails polished and all this stuff. Yeah, I'm a girl dad. I said it. But it saved my life. Why? Because I was a mess. And sometimes it takes that for some of us to understand the other side of the spectrum. How are ladies projecting us? I don't want my daughter to look at me as some hoodlum. I want her to keep looking at me as Superman. Daddy did it. Oh, yeah, I remember Daddy when we used to. Those are the things that I want to hear when I'm in my wheelchair or my hover round. And my daughter's like, Daddy, I remember when you did this, and I know you was this, but Daddy. That's the thing a man wants to hear. I'm just saying. But anyway, that is the core of me. I can't talk for you, men that are listening. I don't know your story. I know some of us came up from a single parent homes. I get it. We had bad examples. I get it. But at the end of the day, I'm going to bring some God element into this, because the fact of the matter is you will never know who you are if you don't find God in your life. I don't know whatever God you believe, sir, ma'am. It is what it is. We ain't judging here. But I know for me, if it wasn't for my faith and trust in the God I served, I would never be a better man. I could never sit on a live platform admitting my faults and failures. I was jacked up from the floor up. Yeah, you can call me whatever you want to call me, but I know what God says about me. And if I could be publicly correct and address my issues and tell you as a black man, as a pastor, as a whatever you want to call it, and I could put it on the table and tell you this ain't the way it's going to work. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to find our peace. We got to find our relationship with God. And we got to find our story that we can bless somebody else. Because when you bless somebody else with your mess, you have no idea what you can do for that man or that woman that's listening to somebody. Oh, wait a minute. I saw you on that show. Oh, I saw you preaching on the pulpit. I didn't know. See, that's the problem. The greatest blessing is your testimony, period. And if you can testify, test a lie and everything else in between, and you can put it on the table and unpack your bags, ladies and gentlemen, you'll walk around with not 7 or 14 or 24 baggages in every relationship. You probably have a fanny pack. Cosign to Sister Carter. Just saying. But anyway, that's my spiel for tonight. God bless you. I'm done.
Thank you for your share, Pastor Chris, and wrapping it up. He said we have to learn how to CrossFit in relationship. We got to learn how to hit all the points, all the places. And we have to be free enough to bless someone else with our mess. God didn't bring us, or whatever your moral compass is, you didn't come through all that you went through just to be through. You didn't. You didn't get here. God didn't bring you here just to be here. There's still more. I realize the things that we've gone through are not just for us and for other people. And as long as we keep it to ourselves, we are not doing anybody any good, and we are doing a disservice in sharing, because you and yourself are a miracle. Each one of us are a miracle. Life has happened. We all have baggage. Everybody does. Find the person whose baggage you don't mind carrying. And in order to do that, you got to lighten your load to make room, to have space, to be able to say, hey, I see you struggling with that. You know what? I got it. I'm going to carry that for you until you get strong enough to be able to carry it yourself. It's really, when you put it together in that vein, about servitude, you know, and be willing to go first. And in going first, you have to take care of yourself first. So I want to thank my brother 204. I want to thank my kin, Lady Anitra. I want to thank Pastor Chris so much for coming on and having this open dialogue with me on tonight so that we can share about doing our spring cleaning. While you are cleaning your house, what I've learned to do is I look at, when I'm cleaning my house and I'm going through my closet and I'm looking at whatever it is, and I'm saying to myself, what did I buy this for? What was its purpose when I bought it? Like, why did I buy it? And it's still here. Okay. If it's not serving me for its purpose that I bought it for, then I need to give it away. I need to get rid of it. If I'm not using it in this season, or if it's not going to benefit me in my next season, I need to give it away. We have to learn how to do that very same thing internally, not pack it up. And these are my winter clothes and I'm going to put them in the bin. I'm going to take them down to the storage. No, why are you storing? And then when you move, you got to get a big old U-Haul for stuff that you don't use, that you're not wearing, but you're so afraid to let it go, because a lot of times our baggage has become our comfort zone. A lot of us, our baggage has become our norm. And I've been in the space where unhealthy has become so, had become so normal to me that being healthy was scary. That's a bad place. Toxic relationships were so norm and such what I expected, that anything that was outside of that was something that I did not know how to handle. We got to learn how to get ourselves to a healthy space so that we can show up healthy and receive healthy things. And I'll end with the close. See, the preacher in me was coming out. It didn't come out right there. So for everybody and anybody who's listening tonight, again, like, subscribe, and share. Allow other people to take part in these personal conversations. It is about you. It is not selfish. It is called self-preservation. Okay. So I want to let everyone know, for anybody who needs to hear it, because some of us don't feel like we deserve it, or you need somebody to validate you or whatever. Okay. I'm going to be your coach and your release on tonight. You have the right to release the extra weight of your baggage, the people, the places, and the things that no longer serve you, so you can enter into your next season free and ready to receive. You have the right to find what's healthy, to live in healthy spaces, and to be everything that you desire to be. You have the right to say no, and you have the right to leave people and things behind. So you have got your release papers. Go walk in that, check your baggage, release it, let it go, and don't pick it up. Change your address. Please hit the like button while you are leaving the show, and we thank you for your supporting the Bravo with Sheila Network. Please subscribe to the channel. Please keep in mind, on next week, meet us right back here at 7 p.m. January, February, and March have been amazing. April is going to be no different. We have Bishop Claiborne coming to talk and share about his book, The Huddle. It is our Love, Marriage, and Ministry series. We are talking about what happened to Happily Ever After. Come on and let's talk about it. Join us here. We're gonna have the men's lounge and the ladies' room is coming up in April. We doing a versus. We're gonna be on here. The men and the women. We coming together, and then we have an open mic night. April is gonna be amazing. Come and join us. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your Thursday night host, Lady Dawn B. I love you guys. See you next week. Have a great night, everybody. Hang out, crew. I'll be right back.
Let my depression catapult me to succession. Shine a light on my imperfections like a projection. Every struggle a lesson. Your issues ain't your oppression. Never got a question. Keep pushing me to progression. Like I'ma make the rest of my life. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life. I'ma make the rest of my life. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Congratulations on the celebration. I know I don't whip out a need of a validation. No congratulations on no celebration. I know I don't whip out a need of a validation. Yeah. With the news on the floor. Get down. Let me clear my throat. Yeah. Oh, that's better. That's better. Somebody pass around the offering. Cause I'm always preaching on track, you feel me? I'm about to get paid for it. Sermon of the day. You right where you supposed to be, baby. Informants informing, that information forming. Important you get a portion of fortune pouring. Confession, fortunately, blessings on now they snoring. You mellow, so focused on scoring. Got you underperforming. I never expect something, never assume nothing. Judging me for my past, but that's why I'm triumphant. I don't demand, I know where I stand like engineer hands. Watch how my life pans. That game plan, show out like a jotter, pop out like a cutter. Telling the quick rock, skipping the course, squares like hopscotch. This gonna be my mood to my beat drop. Putting my boogie shoes in my ditty boots, ain't no stop. I'ma make the rest of my life.